Okay. Who I am, I'm nobody special. I'm me. I live in the middle of Missouri. I love helping people, love helping people get fit and losing weight. I love nutrition. Obviously, it's a passion of mine. And I also love helping other fitness professionals make more money. I've never approached this as I just want to teach you more stuff or show you more things to do. All I really care about is helping fitness professionals make more money. And if we do that, then we're all happy. And if we do it in a way that it's really benefiting our clients, it's a win-win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, we wanted to dive into some good stuff today and talk about, how to add that nutritional revenue stream into your business, because so many people are missing out on that. And we're so focused on fitness, and that's what we do. But it's really easy to tap into that because they go hand in hand. And a lot of people don't know how to approach that. So why don't you start by kind of just giving an overview of what you've been able to do in your business and some of the best things that have been able to help you.
Okay. Well, basically, nutrition is, when it comes to incorporating in our business, it should work really not much different than what we do with our training, one, and it should work seamlessly with our training protocols and our training programs. Most fitness professionals that I talk to, they're trying to make it a situation where it's added on to what they're doing. And unfortunately, our clients see that as us trying to get more in their pockets. And it comes across more salesy. Whereas if you start from day one with a client, with the onboarding process to start involving a nutrition plan into it, now it becomes a part of your culture. And that's really what we're looking for. We want it to be a culture. I think the biggest thing to what we need to start looking at is most trainers, okay, and I'm afraid some of the things I say may bruise some egos today. That's just the way I am. I'm pretty straightforward. But most trainers that I talk to, everybody agrees that nutrition, depending on who you talk to, is anywhere from 60 to 80% of the equation. Yet trainers are making 100% of their money on exercise and 0% on nutrition. Well, what's that? Does that really make us health and fitness professionals or exercise professionals? And I look at it a little different, a little bit more bluntly, is that really makes us no more than glorified PE teachers. And I know that sounds harsh, but we can do things about it. I mean, the clients, they're going for nutrition somewhere. Nutrition's a $40 billion a year industry. It is almost double the amount of revenue than any other segment of the fitness industry. So that tells you a lot of people are spending a lot of money on nutrition. Well, there's nobody better suited to help these people with nutrition than us. So we need to be capitalizing on it. So like I said, so after all of that, I make it a part of the very first, the very first contact I have with prospects. We're talking about nutrition as much, if not more, than talking about exercise, because they need to understand the importance of it. And so they know coming in exactly what they're getting with me. Okay. And then, like I said, from the very first day, nutrition is a part of every single program that I put on here, whether it's a front end offer, a little black dress promotion, a 6-week transformation challenge, my core offers. Nutrition is included in everything at a front end level, basically a low barrier of entry. Okay. It's really, really important that you have that, because now from day one, you're building a culture. Okay. And so then what we do is, as we're moving them through our programs, our training programs, there has to be an accountability part built in there. This is a place where most trainers really drop the ball. They'll give them an ebook or a list of approved or unapproved foods or some sort of one-size-fits-all cookie cutter thing, and there's really no follow-up. And then we always hear, well, they're just not following the nutrition. Well, what are you doing to ensure it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have to have accountability, and not every 3 or 4 weeks to where it's gotten out of control. There has to be a weekly accountability system put in place. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's something as simple as a weekly weigh-in. Okay. Not necessarily logging foods. I know the value of logging meals. You know the value of logging meals, but our clients usually don't buy into that. They find it too cumbersome. They find it something that takes time away from their life. And typically all they end up doing is learning what to tell us to keep us happy instead of what they really should be eating. So it gets to be one of those things that we typically, trainers, we try to teach our clients on our level. But the problem with that is if they can't learn the way you're teaching, you better learn to teach the way they learn, or you're going to lose them. And so my clients understand weekly weigh-ins. Okay, it's nothing that's taken away from anything they're doing in their outside life. They come in for workouts on a certain day or a certain period of time. We're weighing them in. If they miss those workouts, the next time they come in, they're weighing in. We're tracking them. And then I just use simple third grade math to let them know if they're not doing what they need to do. It's pretty straightforward. And then after a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, if they are not following my low barrier of entry, I have proof, I have documentation that they are not following protocol. Because you know darn good and well, and we've all experienced this, that when somebody's not losing weight and they're frustrated and we ask them point blank, well, how are you doing on your nutrition? Are you following the program? What do they always say? To the T. I'm eating exactly the way you tell me. Well, because we're not with them 24/7, we can't debate it. But if I have somebody and we've set them up to lose 2 pounds of body fat a week, okay, we've gone now, let's say, we'll just use a number, 4 weeks into it, they haven't lost a single pound.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know they've set up to lose 2 pounds a week and they haven't lost anything, and I've been weighing them weekly, I have ammunition now to address it with them. And so when I ask the question, so have you been following the meal plan? And they tell me, oh yeah, Rick, I've been doing it. You've been following it exactly? Yes, I'm doing it exactly the way you tell me. I have ammunition to say, well, I'm not understanding this. The numbers aren't showing that. So let's kind of go over this together and figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're in here working out. I see you every day in your workouts, and you're killing it in here. Okay, so I know that's not the problem. You know, from day one, we've already explained that nutrition is 60 to 80% of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of work through these numbers. We set it up that you're going to lose 2 pounds of body fat a week. Okay, there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of body fat. Times 2 is 7,000 calories. That's a 7,000 calorie deficit you need to be in to lose 2 pounds a week. 7,000 times 4 weeks is 28,000 calories. Now, I can promise you, anyone that's in a 28,000 calorie deficit will have lost some weight, yet you haven't lost any. So I know there's something going on with your nutrition. What I recommend, and then I go into basically ascending them into my accountability group, which is where we really start making money with nutrition.
So this is really cool. So you're using the weigh-ins not to focus in on their weight, but just as a measurement tool to kind of see how they're progressing throughout that front-end offer or that low barrier offer. And then you're using those exact numbers because a lot of people aren't going to comply with your front-end. It's a lot of them, right? And you know, some people are going to do phenomenally well, but some people aren't and are going to need that extra guidance. And looking at those numbers, those weekly tracking is going to be able to help you sell that next additional, program for a fat loss accountability group or an additional accountability group. And so
but what I'm doing, I don't have to sell it in a traditional sales style because I showed them that they need it. Now I'm being their coach and recommending we take the next step.
Perfect.
Now I have them in an accountability group or whatever type of coaching a person puts together. Now I can start working with habit-based coaching. Lo and below, the precision nutrition style coaching, which I'm a huge fan of. Okay. The only problem I have with it is precision nutrition is head knowledge. They teach you how to coach, but they don't teach you how to make money. Well, that coaching does no good if we can't monetize it. But anyway, so yeah, that's when I start putting the habit-based coaching to work, and that's when I can really start helping people. And in my accountability groups, at any time I have between 20 and 30 people in my group, I charge them $300 for 8 weeks. It's an hour-a-week meeting. If you do the math, 20 people at $300, that's $6,000. You divide that by 8, that's $750 an hour I make on that program. When I have 30 people in there, it comes to $1,125 an hour I'm making for an hour a week. That's now this is where the power of nutrition coaching comes in. And it also brings in the power of the group setting. The same thing most of us are doing with our coaching, a lot of group training, semi-private, boot camps. Well, it's the same thing that these people love. We're doing it just in a workshop, so to speak. Yep. So it works very effectively. And I mean, every 8 weeks, I have people on a waiting list for that. So one person graduates from it and they go back to my low barrier of entry, which I know if they do it, they're going to get results. There's somebody else waiting to come in. If they are doing well, but they're not quite where they am, I can extend them another 8 weeks in my accountability group. If they're really way behind, now I ascend them into my one-on-one coaching, which is anywhere from a 12 to 6 week program, and it's anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 for that program. But there has to be an ascension, just like we do with our training programs, front-end offer to core programs to high-end programs. It's no different. And if you do it right, you make it work seamlessly with your training programs, and it's really not that much extra work. It just becomes a part of your culture. And it becomes the part of the culture of all those people in your facility that they know nutrition's important because we started from day one.
Absolutely. No, that's a perfect flow, and it makes perfect sense to do it that way. I know probably a bunch of people are wondering what goes on during those meetings. Can you give like a quick summary of maybe like the structure of the meeting? Yeah,
basically, these meetings, again, they're very simple. Okay. And what I did to kind of give a background about how I do these, I did something a lot of people are going to roll their eyes or just look at me like I'm nuts, but I paid attention to what Weight Watchers was doing. Weight Watchers is the most successful, most profitable nutrition program in the entire world. That means they're doing something right. And whether we want to admit it or not, they're our competition. Well, I paid attention to what they're doing, just like all the people in your group pay attention to what you're teaching. It's the same thing. And I learned a few things from them. And then we take the things that make sense and we try to make them better. So, I mean, when people come into my group, first thing is we welcome them, try to give them that big fuzzy welcome and make them feel good about themselves. I mean, they're coming in, they're nervous as hell. So let's make them feel good about themselves, make them feel welcome, a part of the group. So that's one of the first things we do. And then what we do, I only use 3 questions the entire time. 3 simple questions. What have you done to take you further away from your goal this week? What have you done to bring you closer to your goal this week? And who in the group do you see doing well? So we start with the negative. We can now coach on that. That's where our coaching comes in. Then we go to the positive and we try to build on that. And then we create that sense of recognition, which is massive. That is a massive part of it. If you work on that and build that, people, they feel that other people are noticing their efforts. They're going to keep coming back. And that's how your culture is built. I really do nothing more than that in my accountability groups. I have people always ask, so how do you coach the first one? Same way I do the 100th one. It's no different. And then at the end, we do our weigh-ins and we tell them to be back next week. Exactly what Weight Watchers does.
Yeah.
The difference is we can dig deeper and do some serious habit-based coaching where Weight Watchers doesn't do that. So we take it a step further. But if it works for the most successful in the world, why shouldn't we learn from it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, it's like your people come to you. They want to learn from you. They better be utilizing it. You know, people go to other coaches because they trust in what they're teaching. Well, they better be applying it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it boils down to.
Absolutely. So once a week meeting, you're creating leverage. It's amazing. And plus you're building the community and the relationships within your group. And it's 8 weeks. There's a finite period of time and it's a doable, it's a foreseeable future. They know there's an end. They know there's a goal. So it works out perfectly.
And it's $37.50 a week if you break it down. They feel like it's nothing.
Yep.
So, you know, it works. But that 37, just like we leverage our group training and our semi-private, we leverage our time. I'm doing the same thing with that.
Perfect. Perfect. So that's one revenue stream that you guys, I hope you were taking really good notes, like fat loss accountability group. You can call it whatever kind of accountability group you want. Once a week meetings, use the same structures that work for Rick because he's doing amazingly well and getting way better results for his clients because they're adhering to, it's easy to stay focused for a week at a time till your next meeting, but you let them go for 4 weeks with a meal plan. That's great. And it gives them guidance, but it's not going to give them that level of accountability, that weekly accountability in person with the group that's all working towards the same goal. So that's perfect. Perfect. Ronnie wants to know if you have more than one group going at any given time.
I do not personally because I value my time with my daughter. And so I'm going to spend time with her. So I do it once a week. But it's very easy. I have a couple coaching clients that have 2 groups going because they've gotten such a great response. So they're double down on their income and loving it. Typically with me, there's 20 to 30 in a group.
There you go, Stephanie. She just asked that question. So you're ahead of the game. Perfect. Okay, so fat loss accountability groups, perfect. You talked earlier, and I know this is something that is actually addressed in your course that you're launching today, but it's the nutrition funnel, and you talked about Ascension. You talked about bringing in people and then ascending them to a higher level, just like we do with our fitness, our core offers, and then our signature offers.
Can you hold on 1 second?
Totally fine. Totally fine. All right. So you guys, while Rick is doing that, post some questions below. I've got your question about precision nutrition, Stephanie, and then also Lee, I've got yours about the live nutrition webinar, which is awesome. Recommendations as a low barrier offer. Oh, Keith Stafford, what's up, Keith? Best time for fat loss accountability groups. Okay, we'll definitely make sure to ask Rick the time on those. I think that would be awesome. For your business model. Perfect. All right. Do people in the accountability group work? All right. We got a bunch of questions while you were gone.
Good. I love it.
All right. Perfect. So let's actually talk about these because these are directly related to your fat loss accountability groups. When is the best time to have a fat loss accountability meeting?
Honestly, the best time is what works best for you. I have found for my facility and for my ideal lifestyle, 6 p.m. on Tuesday nights for me.
Yep.
But then on Fridays, we have a private Facebook group and they all check in there as well. So if you were going to do it a different night, say Thursday night, then you would have a Monday check-in on your Facebook group. Simply because you want it spread apart far enough to where they know they have to check in.
Mm-hmm. Bottom line is you want to make it fit your lifestyle.
Your lifestyle, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Like I said, I do it that way because my daughter's more important than any of this to me. So if I can't make it work and it just happens to work well with her schedule for dance, so it's perfect for me. I'm not losing time away from my daughter.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions related to that. Actually, Stephanie had one. So she talked about the cookie cutter meal plan and not being individualized. So when you're talking about front end offers and bringing in people, you bring them in through challenges. That's one of the ways I love to bring people through. And then you ascend them into that higher level, more custom based nutrition. Am I getting that right?
Well, no, from the very start, I use Pro Diets, as you know.
Yes.
And
can you just give like a 2-sentence thing about Pro Diets really quick? Because I know a few of my clients use it and are getting.
It's gonna answer Stephanie's question. Pro Diets is individually customized, registered dietitian designed meal plans. It's not a one size fits all cookie cutter meal plan for your clients. So it is actually the engine that runs my entire business because it is my front end offer. Okay, so. And I incorporate it with absolutely everything I do. Okay, so if somebody's doing a 6-week challenge, they're put on Pro Diets. If somebody's doing a core offering, they're put on Pro Diets. So from day one, that is how I start them off, plain and simple. Okay, that's my low barrier of entry. That's my front end offer. I just built what I wanted to make off it into my programs. So for example, when I started doing this, my transformation challenges were $149 a month. I want to make $20 a month on it. All of a sudden, my transformation challenge became $169 a month. When I started using it, my core programs all went up $20 a month. I built in an instant $240 a year raise for every client I bring in. So, right there, I'm leveraging. It cost me $1.50 a month to put a client on it, but I'm charging $20 a month. So I'm making pretty darn good income. That's hidden money right there. So again, my low barrier of entry, because we do a pretty good job with our transformation challenges and we'll keep 70 or 70+%. They keep going. And once they do it, I'm making $20 a month on Pro Diets because it's already built into my coaching program. So again, it is seamless with my training program. I don't have to upsell it, and give somebody a chance to say, oh, I don't want the nutrition or I don't want this anymore. It's part of your program. Plain and simple. Okay. You can't do that with most of the other programs out there, the way trainers structure them. So what I did, quite honestly, I gave it to every one of my current clients. I showed them that I was investing in them. I immediately added $20 a month to everything I do. It took 5 new clients for me to break even for my 100 personal training clients here at Lake of the Ozarks. After that, it's all profit. So that's what I did there. So you have to have that low barrier of entry, and that also solves the cookie cutter situation that Stephanie was asking about.
Perfect. Now, I know a bunch of people in here were asking about precision nutrition and pro coach. So if they're not using Pro Diets and they are invested in their precision nutrition level 1 certification or something like that, how does that apply? Like, it's basically the same. How would they be able to apply that same philosophy?
I use both. Like I said, precision nutrition is habit-based coaching. You can't ever do that right off the start with most of these people. They're not ready for it. That's when my accountability group, or whatever type of actual coaching program, that's where we ascend them to it, because that's where we make our money. If you don't have the low barrier of entry up front, you are not going to make the money on the back end. So you have to approach it that way. Just like the transformation challenge isn't to make us money, it's to get people in the door. Pro Diets, really the way this funnel is set up, isn't to make a whole lot of money on it up front. It's to get people in the door. And honestly, it adds value to all my training programs when you really think about it. I mean, everybody else is, like Stephanie said, is given the cookie cutter, one size fits all meal plans. I'm given individually customized, registered dietitian designed meal plans designed specifically for you. Well, that's a big selling point. So I use it there, and then I move them on from there. Then we start our weigh-ins. Then we move them into the accountability program. So that's where it becomes valuable. I've seen a lot of trainers that have tried to use Pro Diets. They just give it to their people, and then they say they're not using it. Well, like we said earlier, we know a good portion of them is not going to use it. That's our opportunity to make money, for God's sakes.
Perfect.
We don't use it as a failure. We use it as a way to help them.
Perfect. All right. So Stephanie said that makes perfect sense. How much does Pro Diets cost about?
It depends on how many clients you have in it, Stephanie. But wait till the end. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. Perfect.
If we can, if you would bear with me, I'd appreciate it. And we will talk about that, dear.
Perfect. Okay. So let's talk more about this Ascension funnel and transitioning people from the front end all the way up to your premium nutrition coaching program.
Okay. So basically, as far as the funnel, like I said, low barrier of entry, accountability groups, high-end coaching. It's just, that's how we ascend them based on how they're responding, the results they're getting. If they're struggling, we've got the next coaching program for them. If they're doing well, we move them back down. It's really pretty simple. I noticed that Lee asked about how I sell the flag to my clients. Well, okay, first of all, prospects. Let's talk about that. I don't do any of this with cold traffic. Every person I'm talking about in my programs, my flag program, are current training clients, period. I have never spent a single penny selling nutrition. The only time I really do, I guess you could technically say, is in my transformation challenges, because it's a part of the challenge. But as far as that, this isn't, you don't have to look outside what you have in front of you. You've got your gold mine sitting right there in your facility. Okay? You don't look outside that. You've got people that are looking for your help. Okay? And look at it this way. Okay? If you have the key to getting them the best results, a great coaching program, and you don't offer it to your clients, how are they going to feel if they find that out? I've got one of your people trying to call me to ask about it. We're going to have to wait. We'll call them back.
Sounds like a plan. Perfect.
But think about it that way. If you have nutrition in your back pocket and you're not getting it out there, your clients are not going to be happy. She's calling on two lines. So, I'm serious. She is. That's funny.
That's really funny. All right. So does anybody have any questions on that Ascension funnel and how that works? So you're a big numbers guy. Do you have what kind of an idea of the percentage of people that are in the front end offer that'll enter into your accountability groups, and then from there ascend to your higher level? Do you have some rough kind of percentages?
Typically the people that come in like I said, typically 70% of the people that come in on a front end offer are going to stay on our program. So if I have 20 people, that's 14 people that are going to stay on in my core programs, my long-term programming. Of those, typically, I'm going to end up with about 45% of them in my accountability group at one time or another. Okay. So you can figure of that, about another 6 people out of the 14 people that stayed are going to end up in my accountability group. Plain and simple. And of those, into my higher end, 1 or 2 on a regular basis would probably be ascended into my higher end coaching. For the most part, though, I'll be honest, my higher end coaching is reserved for bodybuilders, fitness models, beauty pageant competitors that basically it's their quote unquote job to be in good shape. So they're going to spend that higher amount of money with me. But I will every 30, 45 days ascend one of my other clients into that. And they're going to be basically doing typically a 12-week program where it's going to be about $2,500. But I pull out all stops then. I'm showing up at their house and we're going through their cabinets, okay, and their refrigerator. I'm taking them grocery shopping. They literally have my phone on speed dial 24/7. If they're out to a restaurant and they don't know what to order, I'll tell them they can call me and I'll order for them. I mean, at that point, again, we always want to give higher value than what they're paying.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring out all the stops. I'll show up at their work and see what they have for lunch, whatever it takes.
Awesome. I'd be scared if you came over to me at lunch and I saw you walking in through the door. That's awesome. All right. So let's go through some of these questions, because I really do want to talk a little bit about your program and, how this can apply to everybody's business and how they can tap into this nutritional revenue stream as well, because everybody that runs a fitness business can do this and do it without having the certifications or anything like that, if they're doing it properly and they're doing it to the extent that their knowledge allows them to go to. And I know that you do that a lot on an individual basis, like helping people, figure out what they can offer in their program to create that specific offer for them. So let me go through some of these questions before we get to that real quick. Lee had another question. He said in his free Facebook group that he's running, which I'm super excited he started that up, he's running a Facebook live nutrition webinar. What would be a good recommendation or your recommendation for a low barrier offer off of his webinar?
Off of his webinar, what he's doing, I guess it really depends on what he's doing for nutrition right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's hard to say without being able to dig deeper into what he's offering.
So I know what he's offering. He's doing transformation challenges, like my Done For You meal plan, stuff like that. That's what he's offering as his front end offer.
Is what free meal plans?
So for example, like the 28-day challenge or the little black dress, something like that would be his front end offer. And then,
but that has his the meal plans already built into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are the people that's on the webinar. Okay, so what he would want to do, he's really pretty much set up, is he needs to be having a way to hold these people accountable. And when they're not being held accountable is when he moves them up into the 8-week flag program. That's when the precision nutrition, habit-based coaching comes into play. Because you can dig in deep and find out exactly what they're having trouble with, and now you can coach on it. And now you can, step back and just give them one habit at a time, and work that way. That makes sense, Lee?
Oh, you can see him respond.
Okay.
I forgot that you can see all that too. And somebody actually just asked and brought up a great question. We got a lot of online trainers that are in my Facebook group. And so this can be an accountability group. I mean, it doesn't have to be a physical location. You can.
Oh, absolutely not. I have a couple of my coaching clients that's all they do is online training. And it works extremely effective for them. I mean, think about it, with Facebook Live now and everything, it's easy to do an accountability group on Facebook. It's really, really easy to make that happen. I wouldn't charge any less. Lee just asked pricing suggestions on an online version. What do you feel your time is worth is what I would ask, Lee. I don't think it needs to be any cheaper. Honestly, is $37.50 a week too much to ask for really digging in deep and really changing somebody's life? I still think the $300 is a good price, even for online trainers.
Absolutely. And I think one of the hesitations that people have that does seem like a higher price point, especially if you're just getting started and you're like, well, $300 could be a lot of money in your mind for your clients to be paying. But really remember that you're selling a result. You're selling a transformation. You're not selling the time that you're investing. You're selling the overall change in these people's lives. And that's priceless. And you have to think about it that way. Otherwise, And also frame it as it's $37.50 a week to help you change your life. That's a lot easier for them to accept than it's $300. Well, for somebody, $300 might be tight, but $37.50 doesn't seem bad. And there's, clients that I know are tight. I'll break it up into 2 payments. I'm going to have them for 8 weeks, so I'm not afraid to do that. All right, so let's talk about your Nutrition Profits course. I've seen it. It's phenomenal. You definitely are second to none in nutrition. So can you talk a little bit about the program. And I mean, you've changed it up a little bit. Now you're doing it live, which is awesome. Yep. Obviously you guys can see how passionate Rick is about nutrition and helping other people. He just always goes above and beyond, but this program is awesome. It's very detailed. It's not only the overall strategy, but it's the step-by-step. That's what I love. I need step-by-step when I'm learning things, and you give that. So can you just talk a little bit about your course, and just for people who haven't seen what all it involves, can you just share a little bit?
Yeah. Well, what it is, Nutrition Profits, the NPS Inflammation course, it's going to be a live streaming course, very similar to this, except it's going to look like a live TV show where I am going to literally show people, disclose absolutely everything, how to set up a complete funnel in their business and make it work for their business. They're going to be able to ask questions live, just like we are here, and we are going to walk through it. And I'm going to help them get set up. Like I said before, all I care about is helping them make more money, okay? But where I'm taking it a step further is I'm also going to get on the phone with every one of them. And if I have to, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do a lot of the work for them, or some of the work for them, whatever needs to be done. So this is something nobody else has ever really done. It's a combination of show me how and do it for me. And I'm going to literally jump in and do the work for them when need be to get them up and running. It's going to include my entire Nutrition Profit System program with all 5 of the blueprints for all 5 of the funnels that I make money in my business, every single one of them. It's going to include that. So that was a $199 program. That's included. I'm giving them 30 days free of Pro Diets to just see if they like it. And if they do, we're going to set it up properly for them in their business so they have the low barrier of entry that makes it easy to sell everything else. So it's going to be, I'm really excited about it because we're going to help change people's lives through nutrition. We are going to help people make more money. I mean, I live in a town of less than 1,500 people, okay? And I make close to $150,000 a year just on the nutrition side of my business. And I promise you guys, there's nothing special about me. If I can do this, you can do this. And I want to make sure you are doing it. I want to make sure that everybody is set up properly. Because you know as well as I do, Alicia, we can buy products and then we always try to add our little twist to them and they don't do well. And this system, I mean, it's really, really simple. Pat Rigsby, of all people, I mean, he got it in my head a couple of years ago and he said, genius is in simplicity. Now, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I took those words to heart and I really tried to make this as simplistic as possible. And, you know, some people they need the coaching and they need somebody to hold them accountable just like we hold our clients accountable. Well, that's what this is going to be. I mean, it's basically the same thing that my mastermind clients pay me $399 a month for. I'm going to do it for these people and get them up and making money. The new year's coming. It's time for us to really, I mean, capitalize on this. And, you know, it's a 6-week course. Some people are going to catch it quicker and we're going to have them up and making money sooner. But the ones that want to take a little bit more time, I'm fine with it. Like I said, and we're going to get on the phone personally and, okay, what do I need to do for you? What do I need to do to get you up and running, to help you make money? It's going to include my exact sales scripts, exactly how I move people in without them feel like I'm selling them. All the way through. It's going to be absolutely everything. And I mean, we'll be able to dig even deeper into the questions than we are here. You know, I'm going to have some other people on that are going to jump on there. Hopefully I'm going to get you on one of the calls and, you know, we're going to have some fun. I know Pat Rigsby has offered to do it. Fred Zeller, Travis Merritt. So we're going to get some other things in there too. You know, getting Travis in there talking about Facebook marketing.
Yep.
And we all know how good he is at it. You know, so there's going to be a lot of surprises in there too that people aren't going to be able to put a price tag on. I'm really looking forward to. I'm excited about it. And, you know, there's a lot of people on here. We got 43 people watching this. That's 43 people that I know are really interested in changing their business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole intention, is to help them change their business, to basically double down on the income they're already making. And the way I've got this thing structured, I mean, it's going to be real easy for somebody to make 100, 200, 500 times the investment in them in the course. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. And I love the fact that it's not a one size fits all. You can, you're crafting different offers and different funnels based on different people's businesses and what they need to provide to their clients. So
exactly,
and that's what it's all about. And like you said, it's customized nutrition. You're giving people the accountability and the help that they need. And you have the support. Like, I call you when I have questions. God knows how many times you've hopped on a random Facebook video call with me, helping me out. So yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing this. And this is super cool that you created this for the fitness industry and be able to help other people bring a nutritional stream of revenue to their own business. So,
and even tonight, if people have additional questions for me, they can call me tonight up till 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm going to get a little rest. Okay. But if they want to call me tonight, I'm happy to put my phone number in here for them to contact me. I mean, so
why don't you put your phone number in there? I'm going to go through these questions while you do that. Let's see. Precision nutrition. We talked about that. Meal plans. How many people in the group? Structure on pay. We talked about that. I think we got to anybody's. Oh, Jan asked, does your course cover behavioral training?
Yes.
That was the easy answer.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the accountability group comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Is social triggers and habits that we need to correct. Yes, it does. And that is in actually the original Nutrition Profit System, how to coach people, which, again, I am a huge believer in precision nutrition. So the way I coach is based a lot on how John Berardi coaches.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, there's a very good question. Somebody asked, what does your fee structure look like for the upsells? Well, like I said, my upsell, number one upsell is the accountability groups, $37.50 a week or $300 for the 8 weeks. My next upsell is my one-on-one coaching, 12 to 16 weeks for $2,500 to $3,500. I'm not saying everybody necessarily needs to be charging that, but we're going to figure out what they feel comfortable with and what they want to charge. And it's going to be based on a person's comfort level. Now, as far as downsells, I know right now we don't have time to get into that, okay? But the way I downsell my nutrition program to people who don't join my coaching programs or my training programs are people who tendered their 30-day cancellation notice. That's an extra $4,000 a month in my pocket that I do absolutely nothing for. And I know we don't have time to get into that today because that would take a whole lot of time to really get into. And we're going to spend an entire coaching session on the course on that. But that is a virtual gold mine, because think about it. Anybody that's ever filled out a WooFoo form for a challenge of any type that you never got a hold of, or they said they couldn't afford your program, I've got an instant downsell form that works like a charm. Somebody comes to me and they give their 30-day cancellation notice. Well, typically that can be a little tricky conversation because there's a lot of discomfort. I turn it around and I'm offering to continue helping them even though they're leaving me, and they're ecstatic about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to pay what I'm asking for it, because it's keeping them on track and saving them money. It's basically, somebody was asking about the online coaching. Yes, I do sell supplements. I have my own line that I co-brand with a pharmaceutical company. So it's a little bit different situation there, but yes, I do.
Perfect. I put the link in there. It's a bit.ly link / nutrition profits. So that's a link to get to your program if they're interested in checking
Also,
it out.
Stephanie asked, is the PM Pro Coach similar to Pro Diets? Not even close. two completely different products. Absolutely not similar.
Perfect. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Let's see here. Oh, I think I got one more. Okay, Brenda, this is a good question. I literally just started and have one client. Is this the right time to dive into this kind of program? I purchased the Little Black Dress Project and start that in January. Awesome. That's where I plan to bring in clients to start to retain clients and want good programs to assist them the best.
Absolutely, because we will be able to dig in, especially on our one-on-one coaching call. Exactly. I can help her leverage the Little Black Dress and transformation challenges and how to make the most out of them to hit the ground running, which is what we want you to do. I mean, so absolutely. And then when you hit the ground running, you already have your nutrition built in. I personally think it's actually a better time. It's a better time to learn. I mean, because I'm not going to have to reteach her things that she's already been doing for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that's what I want everybody to keep in mind. Yes, we will do things a little bit differently than you're used to doing, but if what you're doing is not making you money, and what I want to teach you is going to, and we can merge it seamlessly into your training program, to me, it's a no-brainer. Maybe my whole thoughts about this are skewed, but if I can help you, or Alicia, we can help you make more money and make it work with what you're currently doing, that's the best of all worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you touched on a really important point earlier. I mean, we're nearing the end of September here. There's only a few months before the beginning of the year when the massive rush comes in. This is the perfect time to start positioning yourself to get everything in place, get your system set up to be able to, maximize your rush in January and February for sure. So having this stuff ready to go, getting it in place over the next 6 weeks will really help you maximize the beginning of 2017 and going forward.
Absolutely. And Kimberly Ficklin asked, absolutely, it'll work with what you're doing. Actually, you will be a perfect fit for how this works.
Perfect.
Did we miss any questions over here?
I don't think so. I think we got everybody. So I put the link in there somewhere in the chat box if you want to scroll. But that's the link.
Yep.
Your program. It's in the Facebook group. So you guys definitely check it out. This is a live coaching course. So there is a definite deadline to sign up for it.
Yes.
An ongoing thing that's going to be available forever.
Yeah, because I have to get the production company all ready for this. And so there's things we have to do. It's not an open-ended thing. So we're going to get everybody all into the program this week and try to start it right away. Mm-hmm. Get the production company set up. I mean, it's going to look like a live TV show.
Fancy.
I could have 25 of you on here at one time. Yes, Todd, they will be recorded. Absolutely. They will be live, but if you can't make them in the members portal, you will have access to the recordings of them all. So if that one day you cannot be there, I'm going to ask you to post your questions in the Facebook group so we address them that evening, so I make sure everybody's questions are answered.
Perfect.
This is all about you guys. It's not about me. So we're going to make it work in each of your businesses and just merge it with what you're currently doing.
Perfect. And guys, if you pick this up, I want to give you guys a little something special that'll help you from my end of things. Both Rick and I, we love to help other fitness professionals out. This is a passion of both of us. And so I'll give you a little something special. If you do pick this up today and tomorrow, one or the other, just shoot me over your receipt for the thing, and I'll send you a little something that'll help you out in your business as well as my thank you. So I think that about covers it. Do you have any other questions? Anything you the timer on the sales page, Keith said, is not working, so we'll fix that.
Yeah, we'll fix that right away. So the sales page is not working now?
I think he just said the timer.
Okay.
Sales page is probably working.
Okay. I'll have to go
just
look
the timer, he said. No biggie. Well, I'm sure you'll get that
That'll be fixed within 5 minutes of me getting off here.
5 minutes, efficient.
So set your timer to me.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much for your time, Rick. And thank you guys for hopping on here for the webinar. Hope that you learned a lot about fat loss accountability, nutritional ascension funnels. That was some really great information. So thank you guys for hopping on. And then Rick will be available if you have questions inside the Facebook group. And now you have his personal cell phone number. So you can ask him anything that you need. And highly recommend the program because it's awesome. I've seen it. And you can even see my little video testimonial at the very bottom because I give you my full endorsement.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, Martin. I see you just said thanks. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your time. And Alicia, always appreciate it.
You're awesome, Rick. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you
very
soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Feel free to call me.